Hey guys, welcome back to What I Want. I am your host, Portia, and we are back with a new episode. Um, I can't believe that we are halfway through the podcast. I can't even I can't even fathom that. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat, one, it's still Black History Month. It's very much still Black History Month, but also I'm having a bad hair day, so my hair is up in a ponytail and I have a hat on. Please don't judge me. Today we are going to be talking all about life and reinventing yourself and just doing whatever makes you happy, no matter how long it takes. Oftentimes, I feel like there is this stigma that we are running out of time and that we just, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, that you're too old to do certain things, that like the youth is the saying, how does the saying go, the youth is wasted on the young, or something like that, which is true, but at the same time I feel like that's a stupid like phrase, because you don't know what you don't know, and your youth is made, like, that is literally what your youth and younger days are for. You're supposed to try things, you're supposed to mess up, and you're supposed to try it again and mess up again and do it like 50 million times until you get a little bit more older and you have all this wisdom and knowledge to not do the same things again. Really don't think that there's a problem with reinventing yourself. You're not going to stay the same person your whole entire life. Like, for the most part, for your core, who you are at your core, you're going to remain that person for the most part. But however, you're still going to grow and evolve and end up being someone or doing something that you might not have wanted to do when you were a kid. For example, a really good example, when I was growing up, I never expected to be anything remotely in hospitality. When I was growing up, my mom was a retail manager. So it just made sense when I turned 16 that I would get a job in retail as well, because I saw my mom do it all the time. And it's just a job for a 16-year-old so I can have some extra money. So I just figured that that was something that would do. I would never in a million years think that I would be in the hospitality slash restaurant industry at all. Like, never. Just mainly because, one, I'm clumsy as hell. I am so clumsy. It's not even funny. I'm clumsy. I'm forgetful. When I was younger, I did not pay attention to detail as much as I do now. Um, I just didn't feel like there was like necessary. I just didn't want to be near people's food. I didn't want to do that. When I turned 27, or roughly around like 26, 27, my boyfriend at the time, well, he wasn't my boyfriend then, but he did become my boyfriend. Anyway, he told me that I should do, he was like, you should start working at my job and I was like, a restaurant? And he was like, yeah, you can like be a host and you can do this and do that and work your way up to being a server. And I was like, I don't know too much about that. Uh I don't know. And then he just kept convincing me and kept convincing me. So eventually I applied and I was a host, and that was my first restaurant job ever. And I made so many friends, and my world was just, my eyes were totally opened into a whole nother world. Working in the restaurant industry is not for the faint of heart at all. But yeah, I started as a host, and then from there I was just like, okay, I could do hosting. Hosting is pretty easy. Um, I have a pretty good personality. I like talking to people, so it shouldn't be that hard. But then I put limitations on myself, and I was just like, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to be a host, until I got promoted to doing just carry out. Now I know a lot of people are like, that's a promotion, but stick with me here. Follow the story, okay? Follow the story. I got promoted to carry out, and then I was doing carry out, and I was like, oh, I'm getting paid, and I'm making tips too, like just packing people's orders. Well, this is great, but I'm still not going to serve. This is good for me, until I started realizing how much money I could make being a server. So then I started serving. Um, and I was so nervous. I was so petrified because I was just like, oh my gosh. And obviously things happen. Whatever the worst thing that you think that can happen to you when you're serving, it has happened to me. It has happened to everybody. So, but you get over it and you move on. But I was just like, oh my gosh. And then from there I was just like, I don't think I could do anything else other than being a server. I don't think I could go backwards. I'm making all this money. I'm having so much fun. I have a really flexible schedule. It works. So I did that for a long time. Now I will say I'm not serving now. I'm not a waitress anymore. I went back to hosting because I really do like hosting. I like being in front and greeting people, and just talking to people and being friendly. Sometimes the people aren't so friendly back, but you know, comes with the territory, I suppose. I say all of that to say that it is never too late to reinvent yourself or to try something new, because you don't know until you try. You don't know what you're going to like, what you're not going to like. And for instance, there are certain things about serving that I did not like. One being, I did not like wine service. I'm not much of a drinker, let alone a wine drinker. So if someone asked me about wines, I had no idea. Like I had no I had no idea what I could tell them. I didn't know what country it was from, what varietal, what grape, if it was dry, if it was sweet. And a lot of people are like, you sounds like you know a lot, but honestly, no, that's just surface level, really surface level. And also, I couldn't. I'm telling on myself right now. I can't open up a wine bottle to save my life. Like, I twist cap me, please. I don't care if it sounds tacky or just gross. Like, no. I can open up a champagne bottle all day, every day. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Portia, that's the same thing. It is not the same. It's not the same. So I say all of that to say that you should never stop in reinventing yourself. And I know society likes to make us think that we have to have everything all together and to know everything that we want to do and to be successful all by the time that we are 25. We're supposed to have a whole bunch of money in the bank. We're supposed to be married. We're supposed to have kids. We're supposed to have all these things by the time that we are 25. Or at least that's what we put on ourselves in society, right? Because sometimes we see people that have all those things at 25. They have the house, they have the family, they have like the money in the bank, and they have the successful career. And that's fantastic that they got it so early on. It's an amazing thing. They can retire when they're like 45, like fantastic. But that is not the case for a lot of people. And I think sometimes, I know especially with me, I sometimes tend to get in my head and think that the time has passed, or it's too late for me, or something is a young person's game. For instance, like YouTube, for the longest time, and I remember I think it was like 27 at the time, which is mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing that I actually had this thought in my head. I was watching, I was like 27 years old. I was watching YouTube, and I was watching all these girls on YouTube, and they were like 18, 19, you know, 16 even, and some of them were super successful, and the ones that were my age or like a little bit older, they were already super successful, but they have been on YouTube for years now. They had already went through the trenches, and I just thought, this is a young girl's game. This is a young girl's game. Hang it up flat screen. You gotta get up out of here, because you've missed the train. And I had to reprogram, and I'm still reprogramming my mind to not think that way, and to not feel like it is too late. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to do something at 30 or trying to do something at 60. It Never keep trying, because as long as it's something that you truly enjoy and truly love, then it's never going to stop you, ever. There are other things that I enjoy. Like, for instance, I really do enjoy working in hospitality. It's one of my favorite things. I'm never going back to retail. I know you're never supposed to say never, and retail isn't the worst thing in the world, but I don't think I could go back there. Uh, that is, I don't know. That's a whole nother beast. Anybody that has worked retail, hats off to you. They're ripping you off in retail. They are really, unless you're in like the luxury retail space, you are getting ripped off. Anyway, I have interest in hospitality. I have interest in interior design. I have interest in a lot of different things that I could, career wise, there's a lot of different avenues that I could go. But this is kind of what I've always been drawn back to. I've always started and stopped and started and stopped, but it has always been the one thing that I've always come back to. So this just has to be it. You get me? You get me? This just has to be what I'm supposed to do. If it's something that just keeps pulling me in and drawing me closer and closer to what I'm supposed to be. So, in conclusion, because I know I've been yapping my head off for a while now, I always want to keep it close to like between 15 and 20 minutes or so. But in conclusion, I just want to say that whatever your dream is, whatever you want to do, never stop trying to do it. Never. Ever. It's not too late. I don't care if you're 70 years old. Write the book, film the movie, write the TV show, write the pilot, start the flower company, like go travel, go see the world, go do it. Do it. Because you don't want to come to the end of your life and realize, man, I should just did it. Or you don't want to look back on your life and say, what was I thinking? I had plenty of time. Why didn't I just go ahead and do it? You have all the chances in the world. You have people who have had careers for like 30 years, and then they pivot and go in something entirely different, or they have a passion project and then they do that for the rest of their life. So it's very much possible you can do whatever you please, hence why the show is called What I Want, or What You Want. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this show, if you like this podcast, please don't forget to like it and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. What are your dreams, aspirations, passions? what do you want to be when you grow up? Essentially, what do you want to be when you grow up? Let me know in the comments and we could talk about it. Um yeah. Did I say subscribe? Subscribe to the channel for sure. And I will, not me knocking the table. Oh my gosh. And I will see you guys in the next episode. So until then, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you get what you want. Bye, guys.